Hey, I'm Marcus Way. Most people think managing money needs secret tricks or a big salary. The truth is simpler, and most still skip it completely. The steps work. Almost nobody follows them in the right order. That single mistake keeps people stuck for years. Follow the sequence, and you'll see progress.
Most young people believe managing money is complicated. They think you need spreadsheets, secret investment tips, or a six-figure salary to ever get ahead. The truth is much simpler and much harder. The reason millions stay broke isn't because they don't know what to do. It's because they skip the basic steps or do them in the wrong order. That single mistake keeps them trapped for years, watching their paycheck disappear while their dreams stay exactly where they were at 22. Managing your money isn't about earning more or finding the perfect app. It's about following a clear sequence that builds safety first, and then growth. Skip any step, and the whole system falls apart. Do them in order, and even a modest income starts working for you instead of against you. This is Is and T theory. This is the exact sequence that turns regular paychecks into real wealth over time. Let's be honest about where most people are right now. You get paid, pay some bills, buy a few things that make the week feel better, and whatever is left just vanishes. By the end of the month, you're checking your account and wondering where it all went. This isn't T a character flaw. It's what happens when no one ever taught you the actual order of operations for money. Schools don't teach it. Parents often don't know it themselves, so you figure it out through expensive mistakes that cost you thousands over the years. The first real step is to know exactly where your money is going. Most people have no idea. They open their banking app once in a while, see a number, and feel a vague sense of dread. But when you track every single dollar for even 1 month, patterns appear immediately. You see the subscriptions you completely forgot about, the daily coffee that quietly adds up to hundreds every year, the impulse buys that felt small in the moment but now show up as regret. This isn't about judging yourself, it's about getting information. Without it, you're flying blind. With it, you finally have a map of your own financial life. Once you can see your spending clearly, the next step is to give every dollar a job before the month even starts. This is what people mean when they talk about budgeting. Most versions are too vague to actually work. The version that sticks is simple. Decide in advance what percentage of your income goes to needs, wants, and financial goals. A common starting point is 50% for needs like rent, food, and
You can't fix what you don't see. Track every dollar for 1 month, and the leaks become obvious immediately.
utilities. 30% for wants like dining out, subscriptions, and fun. Percent for financial goals like savings, investments, and debt payoff. If rent eats more than 50% of your income, you don't have a budgeting problem. You have a housing cost problem. Most people skip the 20% bucket entirely. That 20% is your future. Without it, you're just surviving month to month. After you have a system for where your money goes each month, the next move is to build a safety net before you do anything else with extra cash. This means creating an emergency fund that can cover 3 to 6 months of essential expenses. It sits in a separate high-yield savings account. You don't touch it for anything except real emergencies, job loss, car repair, medical bill, or unexpected travel. Without this buffer, any surprise expense forces you to use credit cards. With it, life stops feeling like one financial emergency after another. Building this fund first, before investing or paying off low-interest debt, is the part most people get backward. They want to start growing money right away, but without a safety net, they stay fragile, no matter how much they invest. Once you have a basic safety net in place, the next step is to attack high-interest debt aggressively. Credit cards, personal loans, and some car loans often carry interest rates of 15, 20, or even 25% or more. This is the most expensive money you can owe. Every month you carry that balance, you're paying a huge tax just for the privilege of staying in debt. The fastest way to free up cash flow is to throw every extra dollar at the highest interest debt first, while making minimum payments on everything else. This is called the avalanche method, and the math is clear. It saves the most money over time. Some people prefer the snowball method, paying smallest balances first for the psychological wins. Both work. The important part is to stop carrying expensive debt as a normal part of life and start treating it like the emergency it actually is. Only after you have an emergency fund and a plan for expensive debt should you start investing consistently. This is where the real power of money shows up. Compound interest turns small, regular amounts into serious wealth over time. Someone who invests $300 a month starting at age 20.
Build the safety net first. Everything else collapses without it. This is the step most people do backward.
At a realistic 8 to 10 annual return can have hundreds of thousands by retirement, even with modest contributions. Waiting until your 30s or 40s to start means you have to save dramatically more to reach the same number. The earlier you begin, the less you have to contribute each month. This is the math that actually changes lives, and it only works if you protect the earlier steps first. Investing while carrying 22 credit card debt is like trying to fill a bucket with a hole in the bottom. As you move through these steps, you will also want to increase what's coming in. Most people focus only on cutting expenses, but there is a ceiling to how much you can cut. Increasing income has no ceiling. That can mean asking for a raise, switching jobs, starting a side hustle, or learning a higher paying skill. Even an extra $500 or $1,000 a month changes the math dramatically when it goes toward debt payoff or investing instead of lifestyle creep. The goal isn't to work yourself to death. It's to make your income grow faster than your expenses, so the gap between what you make and what you keep gets wider over time. Protecting what you already have matters just as much as growing it. That means having the right insurance, health, auto, renters, or homeowners. So one bad event doesn't wipe out years of progress. It also means building a simple estate plan once you have assets or dependents. These things feel boring until you need them. Then they become the difference between a setback and a complete disaster. The final piece that ties everything together is reviewing and adjusting regularly. Life changes, your income changes, your goals change. What worked at 25 probably won't work the same at 35. Set a recurring time once a quarter or twice a year to look at your numbers, see what's working, and fix what isn't. This habit turns personal finance from something you do once into a system that improves over time. These steps work because they're built on priorities that compound. Safety first, then aggressive debt payoff, then consistent investing, then income growth and protection. When you follow them in order, each step makes the next one easier. When you skip around or start at the end, you stay in the same place year after year, wondering why.
High-interest debt is silently stealing thousands from your future every single year. Kill it first. Compound interest is the real cheat code. Start early or pay the price later in lost decades.
Everyone else seems to be getting ahead. The uncomfortable part is that none of this is secret information. These basics have been written about for decades. The reason they feel revolutionary is that almost nobody actually does them consistently. We live in a culture that encourages spending now and figuring it out later. Credit is easy to get. Lifestyle inflation happens automatically, without a clear sequence and the discipline to follow it. The default path is to work hard and still feel behind. But the default path isn't the only path. You can decide today to track your money, give every dollar a job, build a safety net, kill expensive debt, and start investing even small amounts. These steps don't require a six-figure salary. They require starting where you are and staying consistent long enough for the math to work. The people who reach financial stability in their 30s and 40s aren't usually the ones who made one perfect decision. They're the ones who followed the basic sequence long enough for it to compound. Your money can either work for you or against you. Right now, for most young people, it's working against them because the sequence is missing. Once you put the steps in order, tracking, budgeting, emergency fund, debt payoff, investing, income growth, protection, and regular review, everything starts moving in the right direction. It won't happen overnight, but it will happen. And the earlier you start, the more powerful the results become. The choice is simple. Keep doing what you've always done and keep getting what you've always gotten, or follow the sequence that actually works and watch your situation improve month by month. The steps are the same, whether you make 40,000 or 80,000 a year. What changes is how fast you move through them and how much breathing room you create along the way. Start with the first step today. Track every dollar for 1 month. See what actually happens. Then build from there. The system is complicated. It just requires doing the basics in the right order and refusing to skip the parts that feel boring. That discipline is what separates people who always feel behind from people who slowly but steadily build something real. Your future self is counting on the decisions you make with money right now. Make them count.
Cutting expenses has a ceiling. Growing income doesn't. The gap between what you make and what you keep is where wealth lives. This isn't about being bad with money. It's about never being taught the sequence that actually works.